Check, check. I'm a Catholic school teacher. I don't know about technology. So thank all of you for coming tonight. I feel super honored to open up for Tammy Pescatelli. My dad and I have been obsessed with her since we saw her on Last Comic Standing. And when the Erie Promotions people who run the expo called me over this summer and said, Lisa, would you like to open up for Tammy? I thought, wow, nobody else must be available, but I would be happy to do that because my dad loves her and she's super hot and she's really funny. And I think as a middle child, this may be my only way to get noticed. Okay? So I'd like to thank my dysfunctional Italian family for coming here. They literally come to all of my shows. And I think mainly it's just because they're so damn nosy. They're afraid I'm going to talk about them. So speaking of the For Women Only, I got nervous when they said that Tammy was going to be the featured comic at For Women Only because I thought, oh my God, what if my dad can't go? I'm going to have to dress up a really ugly, unibrow, machismo, gun-toting Italian with a swag in drag. And that is not going to be okay. So, speaking of my dad, if anybody wants to see how parents should not raise their children, you can stop by table B and speak to both of my parents. It's been fascinating to be raised in an Italian family where my dad is the oldest and only boy. I feel sorry for his three sisters who are here tonight because not only is he the oldest and the only, he was born on Christmas Day. So that is really sweet. The big baby Jesus was born here in a manger in Erie, Pennsylvania. And to make it even worse, he then decided that he also needed to have one only boy, and he is also the oldest. We shall call him the prodigal son. And that's 2 Bible jokes tonight, so I'm done making those because those are stupid. And I love Jesus and I teach at a Catholic school, but that's all I got for Bible jokes. So my parents always say, like, come on, Lisa, like, you're the middle child. It's really not that big of a deal. Like, we love you and your brother and your sister all the same. We've always, like, treated you as an equal. And you know what? I'm calling bullshit on that. And I've got some stories to prove it. Okay? They always ask me, like, why are you the way you are? Like, why do you have short hair? Why are you such a feminist? Why do you have a hyphen? Why do you have a women's studies degree? Why do you hate cleaning? Why are you mean to your husband? Here's why. Because when you are like 16 months younger than your oldest brother, who is the only male in your family, and also a walks on water kind of guy, you just kind of have to do what your parents tell you to do. Like, I don't know if any of you who come from families who have European heritage have those aunts and uncles in your family who are unmarried. They all live in the same house together. It's like this virginal commune of old people. And my parents would bring us there on Sundays, like, yeah, we really want to spend our Sunday with a bunch of old people who you can't sit on their furniture. All you can do is listen to the clock tick at their house. Their candy is garbage. It's disgusting. And my brother was allowed to sit on furniture, which had plastic on it. I was not. He was allowed to put his feet on it. And remember, we love you, Lisa, just the same? Okay, what was Lisa doing while brother was sitting on the couch with his feet up drinking chocolate milk, which happens to be my favorite? I was dusting. 8 years old and dusting. Gee, I wonder why I came out with short hair and I don't like doing anything that's domestically related. Okay, so I'm dusting and my mom's like, you know what, I'm eyeing up the Andes Mints. Like, that's the only good candy they had. And I'm eyeing it up, and my mom's like, you are not allowed to touch that until you dust the entire house. Meanwhile, so-and-so's over there with the chocolate milk. Okay, that's fine. We love you all just the same. And you know what, Mom? I'm blaming you for this one. Because if you call that equality, you have been brainwashed also. Table B, everybody. Table B. So parents just scar the ever-living daylights out of us, right? They are... They do their best, so you guys, bless your heart, really, honestly. Thank you for everything you've done, for the better or for the worse, because I have made a career out of mocking you. Whether it's in my classroom or here, as I moonlight, because I'm a Catholic school teacher married to a bus driver, so I have a shit ton of money. And we all know how EMTA is doing right now, okay? It's pretty awesome. I just lived my entire life wanting a pension and health care, and that almost just got taken away from me. But I got my flu shot today, so I'm all ready for the school and for the bus. But back to the dysfunction of parents scarring children. It goes back to how I found out about puberty. Honestly, okay, so my parents have been swearing. They've allowed me to swear since I'm 10. My dad allowed me to drop F-bombs, my mom not so much. But she, swept a little bit of it under the rug. She worked through shifts, she was tired. Her breath smelled like Marlboros and beer. Table B, everybody. Bless her heart. So she tells me one day that I need to go over to my neighbor's house and play, and I'm in 4th grade. Okay, so I go over there and I walk into the house, and my friends are sitting around in my neighbor's living room, and everything's quiet and the TV is off. You know something's about to hit the fan when there's no TV on, and there's kids sitting around in the living room. Okay, so I go over there, and the mom just so happens to be a nurse. Do you see where this is going? So we can swear in our home and say all kinds of obscenities, but when it's time to teach your kids about puberty, we send you over to the nurse's house. She passed out a pamphlet, which I actually brought in my purse tonight, because it's the only thing I kept from my childhood, to remind myself if I ever decide to become a parent, I'm not to handle things. I opened up the pamphlet, which was more than a pamphlet, it was a booklet, it was a novella. I'm an English teacher, there's a joke for you. And I opened it up, and there was just like a vagina and fallopian tubes. Okay, imagine my dismay. Like, if this is what you call playing in a neighbor's house, I am literally scarred. Okay, then follow that up by the same week. She must have gotten a memo or something from school that this was coming, so we didn't want to, send our kid in all unprepared to school. And it was the week of the talk at school where everybody gets separated, the boys and the girls, everybody gets a stick of deodorant. You guys remember that? Stick of deodorant? I wish my husband had one on the bus, because honestly, everyone needs one. Just hand those things out like candy. So we get the stick of deodorant, the boys go in another room, I go in a room with the other girls where we watch this kitschy little kumbaya film. You can watch it on YouTube. I showed it to my students a couple years ago, just to show them how I've really come back from some serious adversity. And the worst part about it is everybody's having a camping night, and one of the girls starts her period, and she goes in and tells the mom, and the mom decides she's going to make pancakes that look like fallopian tubes. That's the last. I'm fat and I like to eat, but I'm not going to eat pancakes with jam on them that look like fallopian tubes. All right, I'm not going to do that. I will smother those bad boys in syrup all day long. Right, Dad? You can catch us at the Zodiac Diner every Saturday at 10:20. Share a pancake after I go to Weight Watchers. Weigh in first, omelet, pancake, potatoes, toast, right after. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to have a great week. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the Zodiac and going to eat a lot of grease with my dad. It's the best way to go to the bathroom, though. You just gotta eat. You have to eat like that once a week, or open up for Tammy Pescatelli. It will clear you out. So the dysfunction continues. So the same week I learn about all of that stuff at school and at the neighbor's house while I'm playing. My parents sit my brother and I down, and they tell us that they're going to have a baby. And they were so old. They were my age now, and I'm 37. That's old, and that's unacceptable. And my brother, he pounds his fist on the table, and he's like, how does this happen? And my mom goes, do you really want me to tell you? And I'm like, I have a booklet. If anybody wants to see it. It's also got a man section in there. Trust me, I've looked at it repeatedly. May have dog-eared some of the pages, just to show my friends later. And so I could not decide what I was more disturbed by, the fact that I was about to become a middle child now that there was another kid coming into the house, or the fact that my parents were old enough to do what it takes to make that baby. Not good. So my dad said to me tonight, he was like, Lisa, don't be nervous. Like, you're up in front of kids all week, and you're on stage all week. And I said, you know what, you're right, Dad. What the hell do you know, first of all, because you've never done this. And second, sales meetings are not the same thing as doing this. But thank you for trying to coach me along. Appreciate that. Table 8. And, or B, rather, whatever. Same thing. Same thing after martini. B, 8, anyways. So I said, you know what, you're right. If I can survive the cold stare of a group of teenage girls every morning who may all have their periods aligned at the same time, you are absolutely right. This is not a tough crowd. And I'm thinking I should dim the lights every day and put a spotlight on me. I like this. And you know what, my principal's here, so we can make this happen. I'm just saying, right now I'm about to win another golden apple, you guys. I already have 2, and you're not a surprise. Not a surprise. So, what the heck was I talking about? Oh, my dad. Okay, so people always ask me, like, Lisa, why don't you have kids? I don't understand it. Like, why don't you want to be a parent? I mean, I've been married for 15 years to literally the nicest person that ever lived because I'm super mean. And there has to be some yin and yang there. So I say, you know what? It's funny, when parents ask me at school, I say, because honestly, no offense, but I spent all day with your daughter. So that is not an aphrodisiac. I'm not trying to go home and like get jiggy with my husband after I've like hung out with people who have a bad attitude all day. You know what, bless their heart, they really are good kids, but I still have to make fun of them. And I told them I was going to make fun of them, you know, of course they want to be talked about. So there you have it, some of them are here tonight, they've survived, they're fine. Parents, I think, want me to have kids because they want me to be as miserable as they are. Oh yeah, sure, I have like 5 seconds of freedom, I'd love to give it up to a kid who's super ungrateful and going to take all my money and suck off of me for the rest of my life. My parents are the loudest clappers right now because they're like, geez, Lisa, how do you know about that? I don't know, maybe because I am that kid. Maybe because I literally just moved out of my parents' garage 3 years ago. I'm not kidding. My husband and I lived over there for 7 years and used a hot plate, but we are better people for it. My parents say it's like, oh, it's all about resilience, hashtag character building and all that crap. But one of the most awesome things about being a teacher is that you get to see parents come into your classroom and you think, can you imagine, like if I was your kid's teacher, and you came into my classroom and you're like, holy crap, that woman is so pretty. Like, how do I even focus right now? The hot dads are kind of like, oh man, like I never wanted to chubby chase until just now. Just got hot all of a sudden. You know, the skinny mom who does Pilates all the time, she ain't got nothing on me. So it is really awesome though to meet these parents, and some of them are here tonight so they can tell you that this really did happen. That last month when we had Meet the Teachers Night, right, the shocker is that, oh my god, your kid has me first period, which is super awesome. Like, I cannot imagine a better way to start the day. Like, my teachers were like half dead when they taught me, and they were still nice people and all. One of them farted and burped at the same time, and I thought, she's gross. And now I look at her like, you know what, that poor woman. She had no time to go to the bathroom. And I know exactly what that's like, because I'm like, just walking around like that. So I stood up there and I said to the parents, I'm like, you know what, first of all, can we get a happy medium between naming your kid weird stuff, like that has an accent mark, and no one consulted me despite the fact that I have an English degree. Like, you literally hate your kid if you're gonna name them stuff like that. You're pissed that you were pregnant. You're mad, so you're doing that. And then you're gonna take it out on me, and they're gonna get all weird about the fact that I can't pronounce their name properly. And then I said, and on the other hand, then we have all these normal names, like I have 4 Hannahs, 3 Laurens, 1 with a Y, Mary Catherine with a K, Mary Catherine with a C. How many other Bible names can we come up with at Catholic school? There could be so many Marys, Maria, Anne, you know, everybody. Michaelina, all right? That's nice for everybody, but that's mean to the teacher. So parents are looking at me, and some of them are like, you know what, this woman's really funny, I like her. And there's other ones, their faces are like this. And you know what, you're right now, you're probably texting my principal underneath the table, that's fine. I know exactly who your kid is, because she makes the same face. And she does the same thing, she's texting on her iPad, emailing about me, and you know what, I don't care, because I don't care. I mean, I think enrollment bill is just about to go up. We have open houses tomorrow. Yes, awesome, okay? But being a teacher at a private school means you teach a lot of parents, or you teach a lot of kids whose parents have, very important jobs. Okay, so Erie is a small city, despite the fact that what my husband thinks, he came from Maine, is that even a real place? So Erie's very small, he thinks it's metropolitan, bless his heart too. And you go to a new doctor, and all of a sudden, maybe you're at the gyno, and you got the gown on that opens at the front, and you're like, and you look between your legs, and you're like, oh God, how do I know that guy? Shit, I teach his kids. Thank God for HIPAA. It might be the only time I've been like, the government was right about this. And then you go, maybe you have bad credit, because when you're a Catholic school teacher married to a bus driver, you may or may not need to file for bankruptcy every once in a while. Okay, the student loans have to get paid some way. So you go to the lawyer, and it's like, oh God. Oh, should I taught your kids too? Awesome, want to give me a break on that? I know, shock, I have bad credit, I know everyone's so surprised. And then you also may go to the ER on a weekend after kind of a tough night. You may have danced on a table or something. You may have split your lip open. And you're telling the doctor whose kids you also teach, and the nurse who you probably taught 10 years ago, but you can't remember because you're all like, so you're like, shh, don't tell anybody. So you can't tell my principal because of HIPAA. So there, okay? And I swear I Ubered here, I swear. And then other weird situations happen, like when you're the cool, popular teacher that everybody's in love with, it's like they just can't get enough of you, so I'll be at Walmart trying to buy clean underwear and toilet paper, don't ask. Okay, I had a bad day, that's code word for I shit my pants. That's my husband code, we'll be at a party and it's like, I'm about to have a bad day. Oh, we're gonna get out of here, gotta go to Walmart. Okay, the person, check in my stuff as a kid that I taught, pretty awesome. So I'll get off that whole topic and just talk about the fact real quick that I have literally lost an entire person in the last 7 years. And I was, whatever, 155 pounds. So what's so awesome is that my husband married me when I was super fat, okay? Just ridiculous. And I even had a little bit of a mustache. I looked like my dad. It was table B. So I always tell my husband, you're so lucky you get to sleep with another woman and not get in trouble for it. But because the body has changed a lot, I put so much makeup and jewelry on to focus people's attention up here. Because below here it's a situation that needs dealt with. And at TSA it's caused some problems this summer. And it's I keep getting flagged and body scanned and blah, blah, blah. And it'd be cool if it was a guy named Raul and I was interested in him or something, and I could have a spring break fantasy while he, touches me. But it's always a woman named Bernie, and she has navy dickies on and an ill-fitting sweater vest from the government. Awesome. And she's like, do you want to get a room? And I'm like, you know what, Bernie? Just because I have short hair doesn't mean I'm gay. Okay, that's very forward of you. But anyways, the situation up here is severe. So if I focus all the attention up here, you cannot see the fact that if I don't have a good bra on, which if I do have one on, it's like a hefty hustler up here. No bra, it's National Geographic. It's like I have nursed a village in Biafra all day long. And then below the belt is a whole other story. People talk about their muffin tops. I'm calling crap on that. It's not a muffin top. It's like a bubbling cauldron of mashed potatoes or biscuits and gravy. And I hope everyone is losing their appetite over that. Because I have to go to Weight Watchers and you should suffer too. The skinny bitches are mean. So that seems like a good way for a segue for Tammy. Just kidding. Ooh, too soon, everyone? Too close? Too much? So anyways, I think my gynecologist is here tonight, so she can actually tell you that it is absolutely National Geographic. AARP down here I've got. Just had knee surgery. I wear orthopedic shoes, which are not the kind of shoes you want to throw over a guy's shoulder. I go to a shoe place and I'm like, can you please just not give me the same shoes that the Sisters of St. Joseph wear?